All across the country, there are states passing laws requiring high schools to change the names of their mascots if it has Native American themes, and this can be costly. And Minnesota is one of the latest states to pass this law, and there are some schools trying to apply for an exemption.
You notice right up above the doorway up here, Brave Pride is the way we use the word brave as part of our PBIS, be respectful and value everyone.
This is Menahga High School, part of a Minnesota school district about 3 hours north of Minneapolis. Braves is the nickname of the school district, embedded in bright orange across the gym floors and printed on every clock.
So we're very close to White Earth. As a matter of fact, we do send a bus into Ponsford most years, which would be the White Earth Reservation.
At Menahga High School, officials are tasked with tallying up costs to erase the name, since they are facing a new Minnesota law that bans public school districts from having any nicknames, logos, or mascots linked to Native Americans.
So every single doorway has our logo with our nickname.
Here in this part of Minnesota, Native Americans are not the stuff of legends and folklore and Western movies. The school district sits between the White Earth and Leech Lake reservations.
How old's the school?
2019. This was built in 2019.
There are exceptions to the new state law. Reservation schools with at least 95% Native American enrollment can keep their sports names. But Menahga doesn't meet that threshold with its Native enrollment at about less than 10%. Menahga previously dropped its indigenous mascot logo and switched to the letter M, but district officials are trying another approach to keep their Braves name.
So it was a long time coming. Thankfully, they have allowed for folks to make exemptions if we write a letter to and get all 11 tribes to agree that our exemption is approved, and we'll do whatever is right, basically, whatever we're told to do by the tribal nations of Minnesota.
Superintendent Jay Chose, who has indigenous ties and has been involved with Native American student associations, says the bottom line is respect.
Well, it's important because we have to do what's right as far as righting wrongs of the past. It's also important to look at the way that the terminology is used. If it's offensive or derogatory, it needs to go.
To get an exemption, school districts must get permission from all 11 federally recognized tribal nations in Minnesota and the state's Tribal Nations Education Committee. If any parties oppose the exemption by December 15th, it's denied and the school must comply with the law by September 2025, which is something that Jose estimates could cost millions. As of right now, according to bill sponsors, no funding was set aside to help districts pay for the mandated changes, largely because it wasn't clear who would apply for an exemption.
It has to do with our positive behavior and support system and the way we use the word brave. We will be able to do it. We'll be able to change if we need to. It will affect the bottom line and the budget of our school, though.
The number of school districts using indigenous mascots or logos in Minnesota has dwindled to about a dozen over the last 3 decades from more than 50. This is something Jose has seen coming, and he says he wouldn't be doing his job for his students if he didn't respectfully ask for an exemption. However, he says they are prepared to do whatever is asked of them. Thomas Hoppo, Scripps News, Menahga, Minnesota.